bit more smooth feeding for you. So I guess it really doesn't matter which direction you want to go, which one you want to do first. Let's open up another instance of Packet Tracer. Build a topology, do some IP addressing. Alright, so I'm just going to go with 2901, two of them. An ASA and two switches. So here's your ASA right here. And a couple switches. 60, 60. Done. Alright, cabling these up. It gives you a cable topology here. So FA01 to FA00. So this will be a crossover. Gig 01 to gig 00. Gig 01 to gig 0. That'll be a straight through. Ethernet 00. And then Ethernet 01 to your inside. And Ethernet 02 that inside. So that's what your topology kind of looks like. Alright? Then I'm just going to go through. There are no crazy IP address changes like we had previously in Lab 3. I don't do that to you this time around. A little nicer. Alright, so host name, ISP, int G 0/1. Maybe add 204.184.21.33 30-bit. Oh shut. Okay? Now, I'm also going to set up routing at the same time. So, in the lab it says for you to do only static routing. So, only static routing. You can't set up OSPF, you can't set up EIGRP, you can't set up RIP. Alright? So, a lot of this is really easy. I am not going to set a default route on the ISP router. We're just going to make the assumption that that's all done on the back end with BGP or something. Okay? But I do have to tell the ISP router where networks are that it does not know about. Okay? So it knows about this network here. It does not know about the network that's behind R1. Okay? Nor does it know about the NATed IP network that's behind the firewall. So there's two additional routes that I have to put on this router. Alright. IP route 204.184.21.28/30. And we're going to tell it to get there via 204.184.21.34 because that's the IP of R1. We'll do the same thing with the 134 network. 134.68.123.0/26. Okay, 26 at 192. Same gateway. That's it. We don't have to tell about the 10 network. We don't have to tell about the 172 network. Those are all internal for us. We don't want to tell an ISP router about private addressing. All right? Now, other than locking the ISP router down with all that good stuff that you've learned for the last 10 weeks, 9.5 weeks, service password encryption, no CDP enabled, lock out the aux port. You better remember all that stuff, right? I hope so. Stuff you did on lab 1. Okay. Gotta do that. I'm not gonna show you how to do that. It's not gonna be in your videos. Remember, this is a pause point. Maybe I need to go back to another video from like lab 1 and look at all that stuff, okay? Good. Moving on. R1. Okay, so we have to do the host name, R1, int G00, which faces the ISP, IP add 204.184.21.4, 30-bit, no shut. Okay, and it's inside, which is going to be int G01, IP add 204.184.21.29, 30-bit, no shut. Good. Let's do the routing for this guy. So we need a default route out to the ISP, right? IP route 0.0.0.0 0.0.0.0 204.184.21.33, which is the next hop. All right. Now we also need to tell it about the 134 network because it doesn't know about the 134 network. So it's pretty easy. Same thing we kind of sort of did, different gateway. And that's going to be pointed to 204.184.21.30, which is the outside IP of the ASA. Okay, good. Now, you have a choice. You have a choice. There are 2 right answers to one of the questions on this lab. And we're going to set up logging for R1 to go to the ADACS server. Okay? You have a couple of choices here. Guess what? They're all correct. All right? You guys know how to set up logging on a router. I've made you do it a couple of times. All right? Logging IP address, right? Okay. So you can set it up to where it points to 10.0.0.10, which is fine. If you do that, you've got to put a route in R1 to the 10.0.0.10 network. If you do that, you've got to allow that traffic to the firewall for the 10.0.0.0 network. Or you've already done the route for the 134 network to the ASA. You can simply set up a NAT, because you have not used all of your dynamic IP addresses. Excuse me. You've not used all of your public IP addresses within that block, right? You have, let's scoop that up. No, go away, stop. Okay, you have a /26. How many IP addresses do I have in a /26? Don't have to answer that right away. Here's a clear clue. You have more than 1, 2, 3, 4 that you have in that table. I can guarantee you got more than 4 addresses. You have that entire block. You own it. Pick one. And you can tie that to the ADACS. When you do that, and if you do NAT that through the firewall, which is perfectly fine, make sure that you add an ACE entry to your access list that you're allowing to all your other stuff for that logging from the public IP of the inside address of R1. Wow, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay? Or do the 10 route. Still have to do a NAT for the 10 network and allow that through the ACL as well. Guess what? Regardless, you gotta allow it through the ACL. Regardless, you gotta do a NAT statement. Okay? This is the one that separates the guys and gals from getting a 97 versus a 100. Okay? Typically, people who don't heed this advice don't get a 100. I hope that's not you. Because guess what? This isn't written in the directions of the lab. Alright? It's that additional, that extra step, that extra mile. Alright, so I have went through actually a lot of this already in just setting up the IP addressing. So now I'm going to get to the ASA. Alright. And the ASA, it's hard to read here, but that actually says FW1. So there's no password, just EN, enter. When it asks for a password, hit enter. CompT, same thing. Host name, FW1. Alright, so int E0 /0. There we go. That's the outside interface. We have to give it a name and a security level. Let's back up a second. Because these things are pre-configured a lot. Let's do show run. Ooh. So, who is what? So VLAN 1 is inside, VLAN 2 is outside. Hey, that's right. 0, 0 should be the outside. But it's set up for DHCP. So the name interface is correct, the security level is correct. We just got to fix the IP address. Int VLAN 2. IP add 204.184.21.30, 30-bit. And it's already no shut, so that's fine. Now, E01, int E0/1. No. That's going to be our VLAN 1, our inside address. So, int VLAN 1, IP add 10.0.0, oops, 10.0.0.1, 24-bit. Huh? Interface is not set same 7 as DHCP pool. Okay. Show run. So we're tying that to 0, 1. It's already on VLAN 1. If there's no VLAN, assume VLAN 1. So we need to fix this by correcting the DHCP pool. So int VLAN 1, no IP add. Show run. It's gone. IP add 10.0.0.1. There we go. Okay. So we need to clean this up a little bit. So no DHCP D auto config outside, and no DHCPD enable inside. You're going to come back and put that back in, but for now, taking it out is okay. All right, cool. Now we need to make one more interface, a DMZ interface for E02. But because these things aren't really made to do that, it's going to kick an error. But don't worry, when it kicks the error, it's going to tell you exactly what to do to fix the error. just gotta have a little bit of common sense and pay attention and let the device tell you what to do. Okay? So I need to make another VLAN, VLAN 3. Int VLAN 3. Watch. Alright, hey, made it. Cool. Alright. And I'm gonna name that DMZ. Here's where it kicks the error. This license does not allow configuration of more than 2 interfaces with nameif and without a no forward command on this interface or on one interface with nameif already configured. Okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and go to the inside interface and do that. Okay? If you did it on the DMZ interface, we're fine. It's better to do it on the inside interface. So, int VLAN 1. No forward, interface, VLAN 3. That's it. So on VLAN 1, no forward, interface, VLAN 3. Okay, going back to VLAN 3. VLAN 3. We have to name it. We have to give it a security level. Name DMZ. Okay, so I had to do it on VLAN 3 as well. Whoops. So I can take that off of VLAN 1 now, I guess. That's fine. Int VLAN 1. If you have it on VLAN 1 as well, I'm not going to knock points off of you. I'm not. VLAN 3. It set the security level to 0. That's wrong because that's the same as the outside interface. You don't want to have 2 interfaces with the same security level if we can avoid it. You can. There's some workarounds for that, but it's typically, not as seamless. So we're going to redo the security level on this interface to exactly in between the inside and the outside interface of 50. So sec level 50. Now, we need to tie interface 02 to VLAN 3. Int E0/2. Switch port, access, VLAN 3. Oops. Okay. We don't have an IP address, but we are given an IP address on VLAN 3. So VLAN 3's IP address is what? Is it 192.168.0.1 or is it 134.68.123.1? Remember, we're natty. So what are the IPs IP'd with? Are they IP'd with the 192.168 network, or they have the 134.68 network IP on them? Who can figure out this key concept? Don't overthink it. It should be common sense. So, my web server. If I did an IP config space /all, what would it tell me?
192.168.
Correct. So, if that's the case for the web server, what should the VLAN interface be IP'd with? So if the web server is 192.168.0.13, The interface, which is its gateway, should be what? Oh, I just gave you the key clue there. It's gateway. What's its IP? 192.168.0.1, right? Of course. Int VLAN 3 IP add 192.168.0.1. Right? Did that right? Yeah. Oh, it's /26. Whoops. Almost goofed up. Done. Right early, right often. Cool. So we've got all the IP addressing done, we've got all the routing done. We can now move on to look at the lab tasks. Believe it or not, you've actually done quite a bit already. You've done quite a bit already. Okay? So just to kind of recap. We've done the host names, step 1's done. We've done all the IP addressing, step 2's done. The routing protocols are not used, so we are supposed to use static routing and have everything done. All right? Number 3's done. All right? So now, number 4, on R1, configure and apply an access control list that will prevent RC1918 networks from being sent out to the internet. You did that in lab 3. You did that in lab 2. You guys can do number 4. I know you can. 5, NAT your DMZ servers to the public IP NAT range provided via the diagram. Okay, so NAT is a little bit different in firewalls. It's actually a lot easier. It's a lot simpler. Okay? Especially, all you have to do is create a network object. The network object you create is going to be with that local IP address, that 192.168 address. Then you use a NAT command under it and tell it what's it going to translate to. That's it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Okay? Okay, it's a static NAT, not a dynamic NAT. All right, so here. So I need to make an object. Where's it? IP object. Object, network, and then whatever you want to name it. So I'm going to go with the names it given: web, mail, FTP, etc. Web. That's it. Hit enter. And then I give it its IP address with the host command. Host 192.168.0.13. Enter. And then I can use NAT open paren, DMZ, because that's where you're coming from, comma, outside, close paren, static, and then whatever its IP is, 134.68.123.13. Okay? If I want this reachable to the inside network, read through the lab. Now, all of those are going to be reachable from the outside, guaranteed. But if the lab says, hey, they got to be reachable to the inside as well, you've got to do a second NAT statement. In that case, it would be inside, outside. Change that, delete that, type in inside. Okay? I'll do the mail server, and then you guys can do the other two. So, object, network, mail. Host 192.168.0.21. NAT, DMZ, comma, outside, close paren, 134.68.123.21. Oh, I forgot static. Whoops. There. Okay. Create an overload pad address that will be tied to F1's outside interface. So we have to define the inside network. So instead of a host, we're going to have a subnet. Object, network, inside. Okay. Subnet, 10.0.0.0, 24-bit. Now we just did the pat in homework, so that's pretty, should be easy. It's going to be NAT, inside, comma, outside, dynamic interface. Done. NAT, inside, comma, outside, in parens, dynamic interface. Okay. Have firewall 1 serve up DHCP pool for its inside. Use DNS 42222. Okay, and ensure that you have the gateway. So, all right, DHCPD. Address 10.0.0.0. Oops. Don't want to do that. Oh. Address inside. DHCPD address. Oh, IP1-IP2. So let's just look at. We are limited on the number of IP addresses we can give in our DHCP pool. And we don't want to give out what is in already configured, which is .10. So let's just say we start at like about 100. I think it allows you to do 32. 10.0.0.100 dash 10.0.0.132. Inside. Alright, so 131. Fine. I didn't count 0. DHCPD, DNS. And 4.2.2.2. And finally, your default gateway. I'm in a good mood tonight. This is going to be an option. See where it says option? And then the option number, or the option code. Right? For default gateway, it's 3. And then 10.0.0.1. IP. God, I cannot freaking type tonight. Valid host name. There we go. So that's your DHCP settings. And okay, you guys know how to make users. You should should know how to do the logging. I covered that already. Okay, I'll cover 9, 10, 11, and 12 on Thursday. All right, because the access list is going to take me a good 10 to 12 minutes to go over. The VPN is going to take me at least 15. Okay? You should know how to lock down your devices by now, I hope. Okay, and there's just a couple of firewall ACLs. Went through a lot tonight, didn't I? Hopefully you recorded it and it's not like overflowing your phones or whatever. All right, last but not least, and you guys have been really good about this, and I want to thank you. You've been emailing me, hey, Professor Brown, I turned in this homework. I emailed you at this point in time. I didn't get points. I'm sorry I haven't gotten to you. I want to take this opportunity as an amnesty period for myself more than you guys. Okay? If you're missing